largest bank in the country, RHB is currently undergoing a bit of an evolution. With a brand new plan named Progress 27, the bank is hoping to shake off its previous legacy issues and remake itself in a brand new image. But will external challenges derail it all? We sit down with Group MD, Group CEO, Datuk Muhammad Rashid Mohamad, to ask him about what Progress 27 actually is, what it means for RHB staff and customers, and what a bank of the future looks like. So, of course, near the beginning of the year, you revealed, and we've been talking about it and we touched on it, Progress 27. Of course, the headline KPI from that is boosting ROE from 10 to 12%. And you're talking about 3 pillars. Can you sort of break it down what the plan is and what are these 3 pillars that you decided to focus on?
Sure. I think to start with, Nadia, I would like to emphasize the fact that in RHB, when we develop a strategy, our strategy has to be simple and easy to understand. So that's key.
Yeah.
Our Progress 27 is all about simplification, easily to understand, and can be executed. That's the second thing is that we look at how we have done in TWP 24. So we have laid the foundation well. I personally think that we have laid the foundation well. We have addressed some of the issues. I mean, to just share with you, I mean, one of our TWP 24 strategic objective is also to elevate our customer experience. So that we have delivered by virtue of how we are being rated now by our customers. We also, in formulating Progress 27, we also realized what space and how do we position RHB in the market? Do we have scale? We don't have scale. We are not in the like of the biggest bank in town. Okay, are we small? We are not also small.
No, you're not either,
we are not
right?
small. We are the 4th largest bank in Malaysia. So what has happened is that we need to find what is the key reason why we exist. So why we exist is because we need to make sure that we are being fair to the shareholders. So I think profitability are key. So this is the second strategic pillar of Progress 27. We are here for a reason. So I think being purposeful is very important as well. So that is the third pillar of our strategic objective.
We are actually doing this interview in RHB's Premier Banking Centre. What makes it different from the others and what are the features here?
I think first and foremost, it's very important for me to emphasize this is not just a cosmetic kind of changes that we have made. So the way people or customers of ours engage with banks, financial institutions is very different. They evolve, and then that has changed and keep evolving. In the process of refreshing some of our branches, especially our Premier Centre. So it's not just tailoring that's important, it's also servicing from the angle of personalization. So this, what you see here is the way we want to serve our customers. So our customers need more interaction with our RM, who could advise us better. So our customers will also be able to choose what are the right product for them. So key to that is also about trust.
Which is tantamount in a bank, isn't it?
Correct. Yeah, building trust is the foundation of our key component in our improving our customers' experience. And we are here not to just sell product. We are not here to just make money off our customers. I mean, of course, ultimately, I think that's something that what the banks are doing. But the reality is that we are here to provide a solution, the best solution, something that you understand what are you getting into. So when I first took on this position, when I discussed internally within the team, senior management team, I think the key to the space that we can still win is in terms of servicing our customers, because we know we are not great on that. We are not good in that.
So you were very aware of that.
Of course, yes.
I think self-awareness is very important on part of anything that does services.
Correct. And acknowledging it and wanting to move from where we were is very key.
Mohammed Rashid points out that customer satisfaction is no longer an intangible metric, nor is it something that is solely measured internally by the bank. RHB has seen its Net Promoter Score, NPS, an external measure of how happy and loyal customers really are, improve over the past few years. bumping it up from 4th place in 2021 to 2nd place as at the end of 2024. FY24 was also a record year for RHB in terms of earnings, with net profit reaching a record high of 3.12 billion ringgit. Last year was also the year where it paid out a dividend of 43 cents per share, its highest ever for a financial year. This year, RHB is looking to differentiate itself even further with its offerings. Already having grown its corporate, commercial and SME divisions, it is now increasing its focus on companies in the middle market space. It also sees business opportunities in Johor, Penang and Sarawak, given the various economic plans and zones that are being set up there, coupled with its deep ties to those states. Then there are the products that Mohammad Rashid points out as being unique to the bank, like the MySiswa debit card that also doubles as a metric student ID, where RHB has onboarded close to 500,000 students within public universities. It is a strategy, he says, that allows them to essentially keep a customer for life if done right. So far this year is already starting out promising. RHB saw an improvement of 2.7% for its first quarter net profit, clocking in 750 million during those 3 months. But 2025, even just half a year in, is already looking like a very different animal. The tariff wars and uncertainty abroad, coupled with rising costs at home, have coloured sentiment a lot darker, and banks are often seen as a good indicator as to the health of a country. So, can RHB pull off a repeat performance this year?
Do you think you'll manage to sustain this? Do you think that RHB, with all things being equal, will manage to surpass last year's number, or is the enthusiasm a bit more tempered or wary? I mean, it's a fair question.
When we develop our Progress 27, there's a solid kind of program running to achieve our year-by-year target. I mean, Progress 27 is not just aiming to where we're going to be in 2027. It's also progressing within 25, 26 and 27. So that solid program that we have established, Nadia, would also help us in terms of sustaining our growth. Of course, there's headwinds, external headwinds that will be impacted. We look at our earlier assessment, how big of our exposure of our SME, corporate and also commercial to the export side, where the new tariff will be we don't know yet, will be implemented.
Because we all don't know where it's going to land, actually, to be honest.
But this uncertainty period, I think we don't just sit there and wait and see kind of attitude. In RHB, what we have done, I mean, I must give it to my team. What they have done is also to engage some of these potentially affected customers of ours. So we start engaging them. I'm sure that other banks are also doing the same, where we start engaging them at the early stage so we know if they need help. This is especially those potentially will be affected with the tariff implementation. So I also believe that in every challenges and crisis, and for an example, there's always an opportunities. So that's why I'm still not revising where we are targeting for 2025 to be exact.
Because the indication now, I think, is that there will be maybe a cut towards the end of the year, or at least depending on how things are shaking out. Again, we don't know where things are going to land, but how, if that does happen, how is RHB going to manage that?
I believe this is part and parcel of our businesses. When you must know that there's two sides of the coins, right? When OPR, there's an OPR card, for an example, I'll give you an example. Of course, some of our pricing of a loan get lowered, but also same goes for our liability side. Deposit also get lowered, right? So these are the kind of balancing that the bank would always have in terms of managing the profitability. So I believe that be it end of the year, be it next year, I think we are all ready. I think we are all ready in terms of positioning ourselves.
Where do you feel RHB is still short? Because we were talking about where you've improved, the previous perception as well. But where do you feel that the bank still isn't where you want it to be?
the challenge that we are facing, the key challenge, despite the uncertainties lingering around the international world, internationally, so the challenge that we are facing now is also about the NIM compression.
Yeah,
you see that
definitely.
our NIM, we no longer see a two-handle. RHB no longer see a two-handle. Again, like this is as a result of customers have become more sophisticated. So they are demanding better return, higher return. We also need to look at how that we can price our asset better, loan-wise better, right? Competition is out there. So the NIM compression is as a result of course, lower asset yield and higher cost yield. So
Yeah.
this is on the asset side, because competition is out there. If you don't give them the right price,
They will just go down the street.
exactly. So this is my main challenge. My main challenge in 2025. Don't forget also we have an internal kind of issues that we need to address, which is our costs, right? I normally don't like to talk about costs, to talk about cutting costs in our organization, and I also don't believe cutting costs is the right kind of approach in an organization. I truly believe that what should be cut, what should be looked at is at the wastage. There's a lot of wastage in organization that we may not need those things, but we are just doing it because for the sake of doing it. Do you need fresh flowers every day or not? On the way to my office, say for an example.
Yeah.
So I questioned that. I don't need that. I'll give you an example. Last year, we did an end-to-end journey of a product. So in that processes, we realized that there's a lot of area, number one, that we can digitize, right? That we no longer require manual work, that require a lot of resources and quite expensive. And number two, that some of them are no longer needed. So to me, these are kind of, to me, it's a clear cut that perhaps maybe if you don't really look into those details, you will not be able to do it. And I think I got the buy-in. I'm happy for the fact that every time I go to the branch, they talk about this. They talk about how best that we should help the bank in reducing the cost.
Mohammed Rashid says that the RHB of today definitely does not look like the RHB of yesteryear. It is not easy to transform any organization, no matter what the size, but even more so when it's an institution that is as highly regulated as a bank. Some of the changes have been front-facing. In particular, Mohammed Rashid points out the newly refreshed RHB app, complete with widget, an improvement he proudly touts as being done in-house and has gotten good feedback from the customers. Some of the changes have been internal. There has also been reorganization going on within the bank, streamlining roles and responsibilities. Most recently, the bank hired Nur Jasmi Muhammad Nasir, CEO of Affin Huang IB, to become the head of its wholesale banking. Mohammed Rashid says all of this is for the single-minded purpose of making sure that RHB's customers get the best experience. But these days, other banks aren't the only competition that RHB has. There now exists a whole new generation of lenders who have made serving the underserved their business purpose, who are more nimble when it comes to changing their plans and trajectory. So, how exactly is RHB going to keep up with the times?
Yeah.
RHB has had legacy issues. We've talked about it at the beginning as well. And the more traditional banks also have other legacy issues as well. So how do you fight the new banks, the new wave of people? Because competition is competition, but you've never had competition like this.
Yeah. So we understand, I personally understand that we are in the world where there's a lot of new incumbents into the market. They may not be banks as well. They provide a similar services.
Yes.
I mean, like payment services. So those are key. So that's why I think from our perspective, the key is also staying relevant. So staying relevant means that you know what your customer wants. Now, if they go to other payment provider, digital bank, those probably the one that we are not able to serve or you are not able to offer. So those are key. So you know that we have 40% stake in Boost Bank.
Yes.
So we are partly also a digital bank. So there, I believe that I see that as more of a complementary rather than competing with us. So why? Why do I say that it's a complementary? It's because I recently find out that that's quite a a number of our customers that we are not able to, potential customers of ours that we are not able to onboard for certain reason. And I think it can be looked at the way digital bank runs their businesses. I give you an example.
All right.
A gig economy, for an example. Like we always wanted a pay slip, a kind of evidence, of income, and this is something that perhaps I think the digital bank may not look at, because they look at other avenue in terms of assessing credit, the way they spend, how they pay the bill, those kind of elements. Typical assessment done by digital bank is not done by us.
What are the new offerings now? Let's go into that. What are the new offerings we can expect from RHB to roll out in the rest of this year?
Product differentiation is key. I mentioned to you earlier, right? An example of our multi-currency account. So why I said that I go back to its multi-currency account. Okay, how do you serve your customers through this multi-currency account? Okay, what are the going back to what are the feedback that you receive from customers? Last year, we have put our multi-currency account on Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, and Google Pay. That is payment through phone for our customers, and especially when you are abroad, right? And you are abroad, you are not subjected to any exchange risk because you have converted your money earlier. I also think for customers of ours, the student who have being onboarded.
The brand new customers, right?
Brand new customers of ours. We know what they want, right? They want to be able to get benefit out of using RHB as the bank. So we don't stop just providing card and providing metric cards to them. We look at the entire ecosystem of the universities. So indirectly, the merchants within the universities ecosystem become our customers. That helps us in terms of further building of our CASA. And we just don't stop there as well. We go beyond that. We look at the staff of the universities. We provided whatever needed, the housing loan, the car loan that they need. From another aspect of developing a differentiating product is we look at our wealth management, right? I think those are key.
Yes, we haven't mentioned it at all,
yes,
which I was surprised.
Yes, correct.
Wealth management.
Yeah, those are key pillars as well for our Progress 27. So we have been developing this in TWP 24. In TWP 24, we mentioned about focusing on Islamic wealth management. That has been progressing well. The product needs to be equitable to our customers who prefer to invest in Islamic product. I don't think we're short of a product in terms of offering as compared to our competitors. The products are there. What needed is actually in terms of going back to building the trust of our customers.
What does a bank of the future look like to a seasoned banker like you? Are we talking about a bank that leans heavily on technology, leans heavily on manpower? I mean, if you are looking at a bank of the future, what are the main things you think this bank should be able to serve their customers?
We need to evolve. I think a traditional bank is I believe, may not be as relevant as it will be in the future. So the way we serve our customers are very key. But I think the soft point or touch point of certain customers is still needed. Human touch and relationship is key. So yeah, people can do most transaction digitally, but I guess getting advice from human, personal interaction is still required and needed. I think that cannot be taken away by any of the technology.